Today, I'm going to present to you guys our project, which is about developing drop-in biofuel in the Manaus region in Brazil. Uh, my name is Bruno. I'll be your speaker today. I would just like to introduce my colleagues, Murilo, first one to the left, Patrick, and Lucas. Okay, let's move on. Okay, team members, as I mentioned. Linneo was the one who couldn't be here with us today. So, okay. This is our today's schedule. First of all, I'll be going through some introduction. What's the project about? Project overview. Then we're gonna talk about all of our R&D, all the stuff that we wanna do. Moving on to human resources. So that's where we're gonna cover all the social impacts. Where we're gonna cover salaries and all of that. Then it's going to get a little bit technical. We're going to talk about project management. So budget, schedule, all of that is going to be in that fourth part. So bear with me. It's going to get a little bit boring. But and then after that, I'm just going to summarize everything to you guys. Just want to make sure you guys got the big picture. So, okay, introduction. Okay, so why biofuel? Since we got here, everybody's been talking about biofuel and biofuel as it's the holy grail of aviation fuel, but why should you guys invest in biofuel? So let me paint you guys a little picture. If you look at this chart, you're going to see the increase of gallons of crude oil. So since February of '09, prices skyrocketed, and it's only going to increase because supply is going to get depleted. There's not going to be a lot of oil left, so price is only going to go up from here on out. So it's going to hurt your pockets. It's going to hurt all the airlines' pockets. That's not good. And another thing that's interesting, this slide is showing us the contribution of CO2 emissions by the aviation industry of the overall emissions worldwide. So right now, back in 2012, we were responsible for 2% of the overall emissions of CO2. And if all the math is correct, by 2050, that number is going to go up to 12%. We're going to contribute to 12% of CO2 emissions. That's bad. That's bad for the environment. We don't want that. You guys don't want that. So that's a pretty big thing when you consider biofuel. So, whoa, biofuel seems like the logical solution, right? No problems. Biofuels, no, there's a lot of problems. So I'm going to go some of our initial ideas. As every project, we started with a problem. So what's the problem with biofuels? We got some process to producing biofuels, the HEFA process. It's right there. It's approved by some regulating bodies, agencies, but it's too expensive. You guys want a cost-competitive product. You don't want to spend more money on biofuel than you would spend on oil. Oil is right there. It's easy. So we don't want to give that to you guys. So how do we fix that problem? How do we come up with a solution for that problem? Oh, let's develop a cost-competitive method. Dropping jet biofuel. We talked about that method because it's cheaper. We want to make that really cheap for you guys, and I'm going to go over later on how we're going to make costs drop and all of that. And no matter what the final goal of our project is, no matter what kind of deliverables we want to get to you guys, the impact that we want to have by the end of our projects are social impacts. We want to improve living conditions of the local workforce. We'll be working in Manaus, and I'll explain it later on how's the local workforce living situation. Doesn't look good. So we want to improve in a lot of ways, social aspects. We want to be sustainable development. We want to reduce CO2 emissions. We don't want to make biodiesel in a way that we destroy half a forest for that. No, that's not good. That's not our goal. Not one of the impacts that we want to have by the end of this project. So moving on. Okay, project overview. So this is a table that we did. Those are the main deliverables. What do we want to get to you guys? What you guys are buying from us? You are buying a new method, a new pathway to produce drop-in jet biofuel. Currently, there's no regulated method to produce. ASTM has not approved all the methods existing right now, so there is no legal way to start producing that drop-in biofuel. So we want to give to you guys the method, all approved, ready to go. That's what we want to give to you guys. Adapt local refineries. Right now, oil refineries are not adapt to produce drop-in jet biofuel. And if you want to utilize HEFA process, we have to build a factory, a refinery from the ground up. That's too expensive. You guys don't want to spend a lot of money developing a refinery just for that. So we want to adapt. We want to reduce costs. We want to just get to the local refinery, adapt, reduce costs. That's one of our main goals. So how long is this project going to take? It's going to start January 2015. It's going to take 3 years, and it's going to end December 2017. It's going to cost $51 million. I'm going to go over the budget later on. And it's going to take place in Manaus, the Amazonas state of Brazil. But you guys ask me, why Manaus? Why are we doing everything that we're doing there in Manaus? I'll explain to you guys in the next slide. Why Manaus? Okay, so that's Manaus International Airport. Has 3 million passengers go through that airport every year. It's the 15th largest passenger air traffic in the country. May not be that much, but it's the third overall when it comes to cargo transportation. So a lot of cargo go through that airport. Why a lot of cargo go through there? Because they have Manaus trade-free zone. That's one of the main reasons we went to Manaus. They have a zone there where a lot of factories have, established themselves. It makes them cheap. The government wants a lot of factories and industries to start developing in that region. So we want to use that tax benefits in our to the good of our project. Also, there's an idle workforce there. Back in the 1920s, a lot of workers went there to Manaus to start working with rubber, and since then they are unemployed. So we want to use that workforce just, for our projects. It's a cheap workforce. So again, drop costs. Also, the Amazonas River is right there. It's ready for us to use. We don't need to implement roads or anything. Of course, when you get to land, logistics a little bit iffy. We want to do some, and I'm going to go over some research that we want to do on logistics. But our main of transportation is right there, the river, to transport all of our production. And the Amazon biome would be a perfect research field for all potential sources of feedstock that we want to use as dropping jet biofuel. So that's a great place. That's why we settled there. There's a picture showing where Manaus is, right north of Brazil. That's a picture of the city. You can see the harbor. It's right there, and the airport's really close by. All the trade-free zones. It's not scattered all around, but closer to the airport. Also, Manaus Refinery, HIFA, Manaus Refinery is also settled right there. So we will be adapting that refinery for our project. Okay, cool. Moving on. That's some pictures of Manaus here. That's the airport, downtown Manaus. And there I put a picture of the Amazonas Federal University. That's going to be one of our major partners. That's where we're going to do all the research. We will be using all of their labs. And we'll be bringing in all the equipment that they don't have that we need for our research. But mainly, that's where we would do research. So that's one of our main partners in this project. Okay, cool. So introduction is over. Let's go through R&D. Okay, research and development. So as I mentioned before, HIFA process, too expensive. We don't want to give that to you guys. That's not good. Prices are going up. So co-processing, that's our solution. As I said, co-processing is another name for dropping jet biofuel. So that adapting local refineries means you don't need to raise one from the ground up. So that's going to reduce some costs for us. And what kind of feedstock? I've been talking about dropping jet biofuel, but I did not mention what we would be using as a feedstock. There's a lot of research on palm oil there in the region, and we want to use that palm oil. There's a lot of palm oil there. I'm going to tell you why palm oil. There's a lot of palm oil in that region. The government, it incentivizes the growth of that tree, palm tree. Government incentivizes that in that region. Why? Why does the government incentivize that? Because they have a lot of pasture land that's not being used. So it's not a green area, it's a dry area with no trees. So we want to grow our palm oil there. And by growing it, we'll be sequestering carbon from the atmosphere. We'll be collecting and giving back oxygen. So that's a plus for the environment. That's all of our policy of going green. We want to go green. We have a lot of space there. We have four times the size of France to go all of our stuff. Space is not a problem for us after we start production. That's not a problem. Environmental benefits, as I mentioned to you guys. That's a picture of the palm tree, the fruit of the palm tree that we want to use later on. That palm tree will be, it's going to go to the lab, goes through some research, and that's all the work we'll be doing at Manaus Federal University. That's some pictures just illustrating that. And okay, cool. I'm done with research and development. Let's move on to human resources. Let's talk about all the social impacts and all of that of our project. So how do we want to work there? We want to establish a lot of partnerships with local cooperatives. There's a cool models there. There's Agropalma, one of our potential partners. They have a great program there of how they work with the local workforce. You know, they provide to those workers. Okay, those are some partners, as I mentioned. Agropalma, Bradar is going to do mapping. Mapping. Yeah, mapping. I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. They're gonna mapping. Yeah, they're gonna map all the area for us. Great, right? Okay, they're gonna do a lot of mapping for us. We need to know where we can grow. We need to know from where we can, transport all that production, and also logistics, inland logistics, because in Brazil it's kind of chaotic. So Bradar will be also doing some research for us in that area. UFAM, as I mentioned, the Federal University there. Petrobras is going to be a great partner for us when we come to adapting the refineries. They're going to go in with a lot of money for us and help us. Okay, cool, impact. By the end of the 30 of this project, we want to give to you guys a method to produce a drop-in jet biofuel that's approved, by all the regulating bodies, ANAC from Brazil, and all of them. It's got to be ready to go, ready for use, which is not the current situation. It's not ready to use right now. Okay, we want to improve logistics. We're going to do some research on local logistics. We don't plan to construct or anything or build any bridges or any of that. We just want to have the plan ready, because after those 3 years, if somebody comes with extra investment, we want to have a plan ready to start reducing costs on transportation. Because if you improve logistics, you're going to reduce costs when it comes down to transportation. Okay, so as I mentioned, Agropalma has a great model of work. The way they work with the people there is great. They give to those guys medical care, housing, steady income, because those people, they don't have their education, electricity. People there, they don't have that situation. You guys can see that. That's a picture of people that live close by the rivers. We call that ribeirinhos. So poor conditions. We want to change that. Through our project, we want to change their situation. That's some picture of people, of the local cooperatives that would be collecting our research material. And we also want to improve their working conditions. You guys can see it's not a great working condition right now, so we want to come in, improve all of that, have a great, social impact in those people's lives. Okay, cool. Project management. Here's when I'm going to talk about budget and all that stuff. Okay, our schedule. Here's our plan for the 3 years, what we want to accomplish. During the first year, R&D, research and development, and we want to establish all of our partnerships, do all the mapping. During the first year is going to be devoted to R&D. And the third year, after we get results from the research department, we want to start adapting the local refinery. Because by the end of the third year, as I mentioned, we want to be ready to start production. And in between those years, we're going to have some review sections to see how things are coming along, if they're falling through the chronogram, through the schedule. And by the end of the second year, we're going to have a big reveal. So if we don't have any results by then, we're going to sit down with all the managers and everybody responsible. We're going to sit down and say, hey, so do we invest more money? Do we do another year of research? Do we stop the whole project altogether? What do we do? So we're going to have a big section there. That's why it's bigger there. Okay, budget, pretty much straightforward. During our first year, $12 million are going to go to getting all the equipment, do the mapping, paying for people who are collecting our feedstocks and such. Second year, also money devoted to research. And by the third year, most of our money is going to go, $20 million is going to go to adapting refineries, because civil constructions in Brazil is expensive. It's really expensive, especially in the Manaus region. It's going to be expensive. So that's our prediction for how much we're going to spend adapting that plant. But also, a good thing is that we established some partnerships, and Agropalma agreed to pay for all of the necessary money that goes to salaries and providing that medical care. So we're going to strip that down from our budget, and that money rounds up to about $12 million. So you can scratch $12 million out of that total, because that will be covered by one of our partners. Okay, cool, risk matrix. Here, just want to go quickly, some risks we identify during our research. Inclement weather, Manaus, it rains a lot there, so whenever we're going to have an outdoor activity, we got to watch out for that. Also, no results in research, that's a big risk. We don't want that, so we got some action triggers, some response plans, how we're going to deal with that. If that comes, if that happens, how we're going to deal with that situation. Also, highly bureaucratic organization. It's a pain to work with Brazilian government. You know, sometimes it can be a pain, so we got to watch out for that also. Okay, cool, administration. Here I'm going to show you guys some requirements by Suframa, the superintendents of Manaus Strait Free Zone, which is kind of a company that see if you guys are eligible for tax benefits. And unfortunately, all of those bullet points are covered by our project. We're ready to go to get those tax benefits. As you guys can see, we fall into all of those categories. Okay, and also, as I mentioned, the process needs to be approved by the regulating agencies. So by the end of the second year, if we find out a new process and it goes through all of that, it goes through all of the validation process, we need to go through that. We need to, pay for whatever amount we have to pay to get those licenses. So that's also one of the key things for our project, for the success of our project, really. Cool. So I'm gonna sum everything up for you guys now. So do a quick summary. Cool. So deliverables, what do we want to give to you guys? As I mentioned, the new method to produce drop-in jet biofuel, that's not, as of today, is not accepted by all the necessary agencies. So we want to give that to you guys. We're going to perform 2 years of research to do that. We want to have all the infrastructure necessary to start production after those 3 years. We want to give to you guys all the necessary infrastructure for you guys to start, rolling out, fuel and that it's going to straight to the airlines and airplanes. Okay, cool. Impacts, as I mentioned, a big deal for us. Social impacts. We really want to improve those guys, lifestyle. They live in poor conditions, as you guys saw in the pictures. So we want to have a huge impact in their living conditions, and also set up the groundwork for producing drop-in jet biofuel. That's one of the main goals. Okay, partnerships. As I mentioned, universities are going to be our partners, local cooperatives, as I mentioned, Agropalma, the way they're dealing with the workers, and companies as Bradar, they're going to do the mapping for us. So those are pretty much our main partners that we need for this for the success of this project. So I'll be taking any questions if you guys have. If you guys don't, I would like to thank everybody for their attention, and all of my friends here, my colleagues. It's been great working with them. So we brought just sorry about that. We gave it to you guys. All of our proposal is right there with Melissa. You guys can take a look at that. All the technical stuff is right there. If you guys want to see, work breakdown structures and all of our schedules, we're really going into detail. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here.
Is there any competition for the palm oil? Is that in demand for other uses?
Okay, so palm oil, it's used for quite a few other areas. Cosmetics and pharmacies, they might use palm oil. They're not like our, we don't see them as our competitors. Of course, we need to get palm oil from somebody, and if that somebody's giving all of their production to one company, yes, that would be not good for us. But no, we don't see any problems, any competition in that area right now. What?
Is palm oil a food?
You can eat the fruit, yes, but I wouldn't recommend drinking the oil, no. But yeah, the fruit you can. But that's one good thing about Brazil. I think we are one of the few countries that don't need to worry about giving up a little bit of our production, food production like sugarcane or palm oil. to research. We have a lot of green areas there. As I mentioned, we have 4 times the size of France to plant palm oil. So it's not going to be an issue with food supply. No, no way. Sure. Yeah.
Can you please explain what drop-in jet
Sure. Yeah.
biofuel
Drop-in
is?
jet biofuel. What drop-in jet biofuel is? We're not. It's going to be a mixture between crude oil and biofuel. It's not going to be 100% biofuel. It's going to have. It's going to have like right about now we're estimating 10 to 20% of bio fuel in every gallon of biofuel. Drop-in biofuel.
Hi there. You mentioned earlier that there was a government incentivized program for some of the growers. How does that look like, and how will that affect the budget that you presented?
Okay, so one of the main things Brazil has like a really I'm gonna say boring system when it comes to harvesting trees and all of that. Especially in the Amazon, we have like a pretty severe and complicated green policy there. So what I mean by government incentive is that I mean they want us to grow palm trees there. It's not going to be we're not going to face an issue from the government. We won't have to get special permits to spend more money there. They want us to get there, to give us the land or whatever we need, because we will be replacing pretty much a dry land for trees. So that's good for the environment. We'll be going green and all of that. So the government wants that. They don't want to have all that dry land there, the pasture land there. So they want us to get there and plant it. And so they give us some incentives, tax benefits or whatever it is. They give us the land maybe, so that's the way government will help us to produce all of the to grow whatever we need to grow there. Cool. Any more questions? Oh, yeah, sure.
You probably covered this, but I missed it. Are you refining the palm oil right there where you're growing it? You're refining it there and transporting it?
As I mentioned, the cooperatives are going to produce the palm oil, and then we're going to send it to all of the labs to perform, research or whatever it is that we need from the lab guys. So the refinery will come into the picture when we want to produce the drop-in jet biofuel, not when we want to produce palm oil. No. The refinery is going to be exclusive for producing fuel itself, not for producing palm oil. Yes. We have to make palm tree into palm oil, and after we perform all the necessary research, it needs to go to the refinery, and it will be mixed with crude oil, and out of all that stuff, we're gonna get the drop-in jet biofuel. I think it takes like 2 years, 3 years. Palm tree to grow takes like 2-3 years. It's something like that. I guess so. I'm not familiar with the figure right now. It takes it's not like something that takes 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, but when you have like 4 times the size of France to work with, you can wait for all those trees, all those things to grow. And one thing that's good about palm tree is that's the kind of plant that's really adapted to the region. So there's a lot of areas there where they have palm tree already there in the Amazon forest. It's not something that we are bringing in. They already have there. We're bringing that stuff into dry areas. But there's a lot of, that's where the mapping comes into picture also, because we're going to identify areas where they already have palm trees. So it's not something that we are bringing from Malaysia or whatever. They already have there. It's really adapted to the environment, and they have a lot of that stuff there.